The other place I see a problem is those that use the rubber to line the peep. You always have wear around that because that rubber comes in and smacks the string.
Yeah,
That's why I don't like those. But if you don't have a good quality string, it's going to constantly move on you, and the people never line up,
absolutely.
which is a problem. 20 years ago, the original strings that come on PSEs never stop moving.
Yeah.
So my shooters always thought I have to make them in string before they even set them up. Now I imagine they're a little better. I haven't,
Oh yeah,
I haven't dealt with the new ones, but they've gotten a little better.
sure.
Um, but that's one of the things that you have to deal with because if you're mass producing strings, you're not going to use the high dollar ones, except maybe on your high end bows, because
Right,
the cost of the string is going to be a big part of the bow cost.
right.
So you're to keep the cost down, you're not going to put the high end strings on there. Um,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
talking about strings, you've got some good insight on strings, and I know once you get to a certain level, the string makes a big difference on how you're going to shoot, how things line up. Maybe you could talk about what Phantom Bowstrings does to,
Yeah.
enhance the shootability or the consistency of your bows once you get to that little bit higher level.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll kind of tell you a little bit about how I came across Matt and his father, Mike. A lot of people know his dad. He was one of three custom string builders in the late 70s, early 80s, and still has his archery shop today, still produces bowstrings. But going all the way back, I lived in the Kansas City area. I've moved since then, but just I had issues with like my bow would, it hit left, it hit right. I couldn't get my windage right, and I'd get it going. I like you said, my peep was all over the place. I was just fighting it, and I felt like I could never get it dialed in. And I had at that time, one of the it was a Matthews Monster, the Matthews MR7. So speedbow, obviously, aggressive cams and everything. So you know, my neighbor that lived up the street from me, he's like, there's this guy in St. Joseph, Missouri. At the time his shop was there. He's in Cameron, Missouri now. That man, if you go on Archery Talk, he's all over the place, like just about or stuff about him and what he does as far as bow tuning capability, the strings that he makes. So I'm like, okay, sounds like this guy's worth giving a visit.